Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Jack Damon's shocking admission that he was Kelly Severide's half-brother in the Chicago Fire Season 12 finale was followed by his departure without providing a resolution to his story. Many changes were taking place in Firehouse 51 at the time of the Season 13 premiere. In Chicago Fire Season 13, Bowden was replaced by Chief Dom Pascal as Damon and Severide were coming to terms with their relationship. Although Severide was willing to assist his younger brother and Damon looked to him for advice as a firefighter, the two brothers' happiness was short-lived. Soon, it became apparent that Damon held Severide on a pedestal. Severide was his role model, and Damon was willing to do anything to impress his brother. However, that came at the cost of disobeying Stella Kidd's direct orders during a call in Episode 2. As his lieutenant, Damon should have listened to Kidd, but he went against protocol, making it clear that he didn't respect her. Severide was forced to choose between his headstrong wife and his immature brother. Unfortunately for Damon, he had to face the consequences of his actions, which meant leaving Firehouse 51 in Chicago Fire Season 13. Jack Damon officially leaves Firehouse 51 in Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 4. Pascal fired Damon in Episode 3. After Kidd requested to put Damon back into the floater pool, Pascal instead scolded the lieutenant for her high turnover rate on Truck 81, contemplating whether she should be the one to leave Firehouse 51. By the end of the hour, though, the new Firehouse 51 chief realized how good Kidd was at her job. Mouch vouched for Kidd and gave Pascal evidence proving that she was a great lieutenant and leader. As a result, Pascal fired Damon in Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 3. Damon was furious at Severide, since he was the one who told Kidd about his insubordination, and compared him to their abusive father, Benny Severide. However, Damon came to his senses one episode later and finally talked with Severide. Their conversation didn't result in Damon getting his job back. It didn't even hint at a potential return to the prestigious fire station. So, Damon officially left Firehouse 51 at the end of Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 4. Damon still needs to return to Firehouse 51 to apologize to Stella Kidd. Damon must make things right with Kidd. Even though Damon said that Severide was like Benny, Severide still put in a good word for him at his new firehouse in Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 4. Once Damon learned what Severide did, and after he was offered a permanent position at the station, he sought Severide out. Damon apologized for his words and actions, and Severide accepted. Damon's story still feels unfinished in Chicago Fire Season 13, and it won't have any closure until he asks for forgiveness from Kidd. Severide brought his younger brother to Benny's former firehouse to show him their father's medals. He explained how Benny was a great firefighter, but at the expense of ignoring everything else in his life, and Severide is determined not to be anything like him by continuing to be there for Damon. Benny is finally done sabotaging Severide's life in Chicago Fire, and although Damon is good with Severide, he hasn't talked to Kidd since his firing. It was good that Damon apologized to Severide, which seemed sudden given how Episode 3 ended. However, Damon also needs to make amends with Kidd. Even if she wasn't his sister-in-law, Damon's actions directly affected Kidd, and she deserves an apology from him. Kidd's Season 13 arc has partly centered around her problems with Damon. It just wouldn't feel right if their inevitable and necessary conversation happened off-screen. Consequently, Damon's story still feels unfinished in Chicago Fire Season 13, and it won't have any closure until he asks for forgiveness from Kidd. How Chicago Fire can continue featuring Damon after his transfer. Damon can have a recurring role. Yes, Damon no longer works at Firehouse 51, and Kinney will replace him in Chicago Fire Season 13. But that doesn't mean that Damon is leaving the NBC procedural drama. The young firefighter could have a recurring role in the TV show by popping in during special occasions, running into the Firehouse 51 crew at a call, or sharing a beer with the other characters at Molly's. Whatever the case, Damon probably isn't going anywhere in Chicago Fire Season 13, especially since the series was setting up a romance between him and Lizzie Novak. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my Fast Gossip 24 to our channel, and stay with us.